Hello everyone, so this one is all about teeth, and it's also about gums as well, because they're very much related. And quite a story. So what I want to explain to you is that if you've led a much more natural lifestyle than me and been much more aware about your teeth, then you won't need to go to the elaborate lengths to which I'm going to. So what I'm doing is I'm very much a person that neglected their teeth, especially in their 20s, 30s, and probably even early 40s. A lot of neglect and a lot of ignorance. I just didn't know so many things. And I do feel one of the things about life is you have to live a life to learn what you need to learn to how to live a life, really. So I want to start off with this because if you're drinking spring water, and you're doing so as a daily thing, and even better if you can get it yourself and you know it's been filtered through limestone like this water is, then it means that your water is very slightly alkaline, and it's going to remove so many of the problems, because the primary problem that comes with teeth is having a mouth full of food remains, and most especially sugar, and that creates acid conditions, which is what enables the wrong kind of bacteria to flourish. So here's the thing, I've had antibiotics in my life too often, no doubt about it, and I also had the full complement at that time of vaccinations. Vaccinations and antibiotics it's not good, really not good. So that's my situation. So I'm having to deal with the fact that I start off with that bad past history. So I need to do a lot of things to rectify. Now, a person who's not been dosed up with loads of antibiotics and there's a much more natural earlier life than me, they would find that in their mouth there are some beneficial bacteria. And these bacteria would prevent almost all the problems that people get, because this is the answer to the mysterious question: how is it that some people don't seem to take care of their teeth and their teeth are fine, and other people have to go to all these lengths to do things and they still have problems? So this is the reason I'm literally reaping the bitter harvest of ignorance and carelessness in my earlier life. I didn't know any better, so there we go. So just to give you the full scare story, this tray contains things I need to do to look after my teeth, and that is one whole other stuff. So apart from the water, the next thing really, that's like a positive thing, something you do. So the thing that you want to avoid is all those sugary drinks. Obviously the tea and the coffee and the herb teas and all the rest of it, if you've got sugar in them and if you've got supermarket honey in them, that's really bad news. That's creating the acid conditions that enable the wrong kind of bacteria to flourish, which causes your teeth to decay and causes the gums to become diseased. So everything you can do to reduce the sugar is a great step, and I do feel that the biggest thing is your drinks. If you can cut sugar out of your drinks. So here's a classic. What I used to do, I used to drink fruit juices, not realizing that even if they're pure fruit juices that haven't had any sugar added to them, they are attacking your teeth enamel like crazy. You don't want to be doing it. So gradually over a period of time, I was very much habituated to my fruit juices, so I just used to put more and more and more water in the fruit juice, and until the end I was having like maybe 20% fruit juice and 80% water. Still wasn't good enough. I still paid the price. So that is a big thing, is to make sure that your drinks are sugar free. Makes a huge difference. Now what is going to seem a bit contradictory is what I'm going to say next, because as I start my day with my drink, which is rose hips, cat's claw, wonderful immune system support, full of antioxidants, and raw honey. Now here's the thing, if you use raw honey, it doesn't have the damaging effect of the conventional honey you buy in the big shops. The reason why is they pasteurize honey to make it suitable to sell in the supermarkets. Suitable my ass, because actually they've just taken all the valuable ingredients, all the powerful substances, all the things that is healing, they've just killed it all. It's what mainstream society does with everything. You make your own raw chocolate with raw honey. It's fantastically good. You buy the stuff from the supermarket that's got the super long shelf life. It is not good. So it's the same old story, isn't it? So it's really helpful to be aware of. So something else I do, a positive thing I do, is I make my own kimchi. Now this kimchi is actually chock full of really beneficial microbes, and when I took the lid off there was a little hiss and there's a little yeah. So every day I make sure I have some of this, and even if it's only that amount, even if it's only that, I am doing my teeth and my mouth and my gums so much good. Really brilliant. I'm literally filling my mouth, my entire body, with all the beneficial microbes my body really needs. And I find it's important to add chili. I use chili flakes because they're so convenient, always available. It's so important to add chili to your kimchi when you make it, because that contains so many nutrients which feed and nourish the beneficial bacteria that you put into your kimchi. Right, so what we thought it was all about, it's the cleaning of the teeth. So as I explained, if you're one of these people that's been blessed by a natural lifestyle, you don't need to do all this, but people have been experiencing, especially antibiotics, they really do. So it's a paradox. If you've got a tooth infection, you might well need to take antibiotics to get rid of that problem. But as soon as you do so, you want to go for your probiotics and your kimchi to rebuild your body's gut flora, which therefore is going to benefit your mouth flora as well. So flora is another word to describe all the beneficial microbes which really are supposed to be in your body. Right, so the teeth cleaning. Now, you find yourself in situations where someone offers you something with sugar and you eat it. And what do? Well, here's the thing. Ideally, when you're travelling around, it's best to take with you a simple toothbrush and a small container of appropriate toothpaste. That's a really good thing to do, because if you do have what they call a sugar challenge, dentists talk about sugar challenges. So if you have a sugar challenge, you've just had something that's got refined sugar in, for the first 10 minutes after you've finished eating, you want to leave your teeth alone. Don't meddle with them and don't try to clean them, because that is the time when your enamel is most susceptible to being damaged by brushing. So here we go, brushing the teeth. One of the biggest mistakes people make with brushing their teeth, and I sure used to do it, is to brush vigorously and forcefully, like they're trying to descale a frying pan that's got a load of encrusted grease. That literally was my approach to cleaning of the teeth. And the other thing a lot of people do is they clean their teeth like this. It's the wrong way. All you're doing is you're cleaning the surface of each tooth and you're missing all the gaps. So you're totally failing to address the only thing that actually matters, which is the gaps. That's the bit you've got to really get to. So instead of brushing like this, you brush like this. Literally. So I'm brushing the lower jaw. It's this movement. The brush is literally doing that movement. Like that, from bottom to top. From bottom to top. Gradually all the way along inside the mouth. In other words, yeah, I know, I'm just kind of demonstrating. So that's the movement you do all the way around, and make sure you do the bits right at the very end, and then inside the same thing, and then the top the same thing. But here's a little detail which I didn't know until fairly recently. When you put your toothpaste on your toothbrush, don't overload it, just put enough to do the job. But don't run it under the tap. Don't dip it into water. It's counterproductive. So you want your toothpaste on a dry brush. That really surprised me. Really helps. Now, if you want to go a bit more into it, then what's a really great thing to do is to get an electric toothbrush. Now, if you get an electric toothbrush, all you've got to do is literally just hold it steady as you go all the way along on the outside, and don't forget those end bits, then the inside all the way along. You are not moving it up and down because the brush is doing it for you. So again, just enough toothpaste to do the job, and buzz it along like this. and it doesn't need to take very long at all. And you're not pressing, especially with electric toothbrush. You could do even more damage with one of these if you press hard. So you don't press, you just allow it to touch the teeth and the gaps between the teeth and do a much better job than you can hope to do for a manual toothbrush. I've taken it one stage further. There's a particular medicinal herb, a plant medicine from the Amazon, and it's called Paudarco, P-A-U-D'-A-R-C-O. I'll put a little detail in the description. So what I do actually is I put the toothpaste on the brush, and when I've done that, I get the Paudarco, keep it in a small jar, and I dip the brush in there, and when I lift it out, the toothpaste is completely covered with this brown powder. This is an incredible, powerful, healing herb for the teeth, the gums, and the mouth in general. That will do you so much good. I've been doing this for probably a couple of years now, and the difference is phenomenal. So this is where you ratchet your game up when you say to yourself, okay, like what I'm saying to myself is, serious neglect for far too long, so really go the extra distance. So that's my main thing I'm doing. I'm brushing my teeth with toothpaste and a bit of this stuff with electric toothbrush. And when I'm traveling, I make sure I take one of them with me, and I just take my toothpaste with me. So if I've gone and know something's a bit dodgy, clean my teeth afterwards. But I wait for 10 minutes. So this is the thing. Crucial detail about the sugar. If you've got the sugar in your mouth, you don't brush for the first 10 minutes because you don't want to destabilize all that enamel, which means you'd literally be starting to brush your enamel off. You don't want to do that. You're brushing gently, so you're not causing any harm. So really, after 10 minutes, that's when you want to get rid of your toothbrush, because do be aware that as the time goes by and the sugar sits in the mouth, it starts to gradually attack the teeth because it's acid. Sugar creates acid in the mouth. That's what the whole problem's about. So something that really helps is if you stop snacking. Don't snack. Don't eat snacks. Have meals. Have a time when you say, right, now I'm going to do me eating. Have a really good eat. Get your eating done, and then when you've finished, especially if you haven't eaten sugar, you don't need to be bothered about this, but if you've eaten sugar, give it the 10 minutes, then give them a clean like what I just showed you. Now the next thing that's really important to do is to floss between your teeth. You can buy dental floss, you can buy these little flossers, and literally just putting it in the gap, moving it about, and pulling it out. So that's a good thing to do. But just over a year ago I decided I need to go all out for my teeth, so I went and bought one of these things. This is called a water pick or a water flosser. It's probably got a name on it. Yeah, it's literally called water pick water flosser. God, that was easy, wasn't it? Water pick water flosser. You put water in this little compartment at the back. This is a device that you stick in your mouth, and you've got this little button. Yeah, that's right, you got this little button. And what I do, I'll have to actually show you how I do this. So I'm going to use the button, squirt a load of water out between. So I put this device in a place where there's a gap between the two teeth. I press the button and the water shoots through the gap into my mouth, something like this. And I just keep going all the way around the bottom, all the way around the top. It doesn't actually take that long. And I charge this thing up, and the charge lasts for ages, unlike that, which I have to charge quite often. So I don't do this every single time I clean my teeth, but I do it quite often, and it does help because I know that jet of water will do more than anything else to get rid of stuff between my teeth. Unless I eat certain very fibrous foods, in which case, because I've got a couple of awkward gaps and I might need one of those just to get a big lump of something out. Worth doing. Right, well, this is maybe a little bit mind-boggling what I've said already, but I've saved the best till last because there is something which is just such a powerful healing medicine for the teeth, and it's called coconut oil. Now, the idea is after I've eaten a meal, and I do eat quite a lot of food, I've eaten a meal, maybe a few courses, whatever, I do the teeth cleaning thing with electric toothbrush, and I may or may not use this, but once a day before I go to bed I have yet another toothbrush. Here comes the third toothbrush now. Sounds a bit mental, but it works. It's done the job, all this. So I get the coconut oil and I dip my toothbrush and I rub it across the coconut oil until I can see there's some coconut oil on the brush. Now, there are so many things about coconut oil that is good. It just goes on and on. It's one day I might make a film about coconut oil, and if I do, it's going to probably take me nearly an hour because there's so much information. But with regard to the teeth, this contains natural antibiotics which kill the harmful bacteria and leave the beneficial bacteria the hell alone. Now, chemicals don't do that. This is not chemical. It's organic coconut oil. So this, if you finish your day by brushing your teeth with this coconut oil, remembering the technique, from bottom to top when you're doing the bottom row, from top to bottom when you're doing the top row. None of this scraping across, doing it gently, no force, nice and gentle. Now what you're then doing is you're completely coating your teeth, and I should make a little point about this. There's something that people do called oil pulling. I used to do this too, I don't bother anymore. I used to get a little bit of the oil, whatever oil it was, put it in my mouth, swish it around and swish it around. Bollocks, waste of time. A much better way is to brush your coconut oil over your teeth and gums. Now here's the thing about the gums do need attention as well. When they're neglected for a long time, they have little pockets where basically nasty bacteria have got in there and produced their little gases, and it's horrible. You don't know about them, so shouldn't have even mentioned it. I apologise, my bad. So the positive thing, you get this and you just gently brush it all over your teeth. Now when I go to bed at night, when I've done that, that is like, wow. I deliberately didn't do it last night just to find out how, because I've been doing this for quite a long time, years now. What does it feel like if you don't finish your nightly regime with your mouth off? I'll tell you what, I woke up this morning and felt, the teeth feel a bit like naked. They're not as nicely protected throughout the night as I like them to be. So tonight I'm going to be doing this, but I'm going to go even further. So this is for people who need to really go overboard, totally overboard. I've got a tray full of stuff here, haven't I? It really is. But this is called bee propolis. Now if you're incredibly lucky, you can get propolis, which is actually added to something like glycerin. It's a thick viscous stuff, and I was able to get hold of this in Tenerife. That's even better, but I can't get hold of that at the moment. This is a propolis tincture. So what I do, so propolis is the material that bees secrete out of their mouth parts. Oh gross, not at all, it's all natural. So they secrete this stuff out of their mouth parts, and this is what is used to join all the bits of the hive together. It's so powerfully medicinal, it's shocking. And if you can do your own research about propolis, think, my goodness me, this is not just good for the teeth and for the gums, it's good for the whole body, but I'm putting it in at the place where your body is most sensitive to being damaged, sugar and all the rest of it. So this is the thing. So I put only 2 drops with the drop. I put 2 drops onto my coconut oil. That is all. 2 drops. You don't need any more. So I've discovered you can put a load more on, but if you want it to last, and this bottle probably cost me £6.50. It's lasted me for many months and it's still almost half full. And you do it once a day, and then with those 2 drops on there, and you start to brush, and what you do is you'll start to notice there's a strange taste in your mouth. Now if you're a bit of a resistant person, you might go, ooh, that's a bit of a weird taste. And if you're someone like me who's learned to savour the flavour with plant medicines, you go, this is interesting. Whoa, yeah. And actually, when I put this toothbrush in my mouth and brush with the coconut oil and the bee propolis, there's this fantastic experience going on in my mouth, and I can feel it's medicinal. It is so medicinal. So if you've got any problems with your teeth, I would suggest you go the full multi and give it the full treatment, and you will be eternally grateful for this. Not just your teeth, but your gums. So your gums, by subjecting your mouth to this kind of treatment, from the kimchi to the toothpaste, to the powdered darko, through to the water pick, through to the coconut oil, through to the beef propolis, your mouth is going to be going, hallelujah, yes, this is what I've been needing all this time. And I have gradually managed to do the complete turnaround from having what was effectively a neglected, toxic mouth to a mouth that is vibrant with health. There's something else I will mention to you, which is that if you smoke, you need to be aware of the fact that that is putting a stress on your mouth. So if you are someone who smokes regularly, make sure that after you smoke, you do your teeth cleaning routine. So after your last smoke of the day, do your full teeth cleaning routine, and that will give your mouth a whole night of recovery. And if you smoke, the best thing you can also do is to delay the first smoke of the day as long as possible. Don't have one when you get up first thing in the morning. Don't have one when you're in bed before you get out of bed. No, give yourself a period of time where you're doing stuff, and so that you're reducing the amount of your day where you're smoking. That's going to make a huge difference as well. There's no question about it. If you're someone that chain smokes, if you're just constantly smoking, that is really not going to do your teeth any good. So it's like moderation, isn't it? Moderation with the sweet stuff, moderation with the smoking, moderation with these things that are challenging our mouths, and doing everything we can to make our mouths beautiful places full of the best bacteria and microbes. And you will then finally be able to get to the position that you'll be able to give your mouth less thought, because you don't have to think about it, you just do these things. Actually, it doesn't even take that long really once you get into it, and it makes you feel good. So all the love to you, all the love to your teeth, and all the love to your gums. Big up the gums, they need to be well looked after as well. Thank you very much.